It's date night at the steakhouse, and your partner just asked the waiter to ruin a perfectly good piece of beef by ordering it well done, and it's burning you up. Thoughts are racing through your mind. Is this their only destructive behavior? I bet the kitchen staff are gonna spit in our food now. Things can't go on like this. Lots of steak lovers have been through it before. You're not alone. It's time to go your separate ways, but you don't know what steps to take. Don't worry, we got you. This is how to break up with a partner that orders their steak well done. A breakup is never easy for either party, but it's especially tough for the person on the receiving end. You need to approach the situation with the same tender love and care you'd give an A5 Wagyu ribeye. If they're already ordering premium cuts of beef well done, they may be suffering in ways that aren't immediately clear. Your partner deserves that respect during this difficult time. We're going to approach this breakup like cooking a steak to keep it easy for you to understand. First is pre-seasoning, or preparing for the talk. Second is turning up the heat, or having the talk. Third is letting it rest, what to do after the decision's been made. First, you have to know your why. Without making it too much about them, we need to be very clear about why we want to break things off. In this case, a major difference in food values. Of course, there are a lot of drawbacks to ordering a steak well done. It's helpful to remember these facts and remind yourself of your why as you go through this difficult process. If you're the type of person that orders meat medium rare, please hit like and subscribe. It helps us greatly with the algorithm, and we can save as many meat eaters as possible. So what's the problem with ordering a steak well done? Steak is a specific cut of meat that isn't actually meant to be cooked well done. Tender cuts are meant to be seared on the outside to have a nice crust from the Maillard reaction, while retaining that inner juiciness and that delightful texture. When you cook a steak quickly, the muscle fibers react by tightening and squeezing out all the juices along with everything that makes it taste great. It can also squeeze the joy out of enjoying a meal with your partner. It also removes unique flavors, making an expensive cut taste cheap. The taste of a steak comes from many factors. The breed of the cow, the environment it was raised in, what it was fed, etc. From the farm to the restaurant, there's a lot of effort to make the steak a unique eating experience, which translates to a higher cost. When you cook a steak well done, you may as well be eating the cheapest steak you could find at the supermarket. Because of that, it's a waste of money to order a steak well done, especially in a restaurant. Medium rare is the perfect balance of juiciness, texture, and safety as measured by actual food science. And second, we need to anticipate our partner's needs and concerns during the discussion. So we prepared some talking points for you to make the process a little bit easier. Maybe your partner says, "I don't like to eat bloody steak." I understand how that would be unpleasant for you. I don't want to eat bloody steak either. Luckily, steaks don't bleed. The reddish pink color of meat is caused by a protein called myoglobin, which is also water soluble. A steak is 75% water, and when that mixes with myoglobin and leaks out of the steak, it becomes that pink liquid you see on your plate. That liquid contains all the tastiness found in your steak. But even if you cook your steak all the way well done and it's completely gray, it still has myoglobin in it because myoglobin darkens when you cook it, and that's why the meat becomes gray. It's not safe to eat medium rare. The thought of getting sick can be scary, but it's impossible to have steak be completely safe and still be palatable. USDA guidelines for meat serving temperatures are based on making it safe enough, and medium rare does that. Look around you. How many people have you seen get sick from eating a medium rare steak? I bet the answer is 0. It's how we cook in my culture. That's completely valid. I wouldn't want to ask you to have to violate any traditions, customs, or values that are important to you and your culture. Most of the time, meat is cooked this way for safety concerns where the supply chain might be less sanitary. But that's not an issue for us, and as I mentioned before, if you were to even try medium rare, I'm sure you'd really love it. Now that we have our why and the facts to back up our claims, it's time to turn the heat up, having the talk. First, we need to choose a location to have the conversation. We want it to be neutral for both parties. Best if they serve chicken or maybe a vegan spot to avoid any conflicts during the conversation. It might also help to confide in a friend for emotional support as you go through this process. We recommend discussing it with your local butcher, who's sure to have your back on this one. Second, this process is all about time and temperature. Like successfully cooking a filet mignon, we want to be firm in our decision with a quick sear on the front and the back of the conversation. We keep things tender and juicy through the middle by being kind the entire time. And we don't want to draw the discussion out. We'd be running too hot for too long. Now, if you're having a hard time imagining what to say, we've gone ahead and prepared some lines for you. I think it might be good for us to start eating with other people. I see a lot of flavor in my future, and I'm just not sure if we're on the same path. It feels like we're at different stages of cook times. Now it's time for the final stage, letting it rest, what to do after you've had the talk. If you saw our last video about confronting family members who eat frozen pizza frozen, then you know it's about giving each other space to process what you've gone through. Now is the time for you to start to get excited about the rest of your life and the rest of the steak dinners you're gonna be having. Also, we recommend that you update your food delivery app passwords. If you or anyone else you know has a partner that orders their steak well done, send them this video. We may be able to catch them in time before it's too late.